There are lots of ways that we can adjust ourselves to the constraints imposed by nature. First of all, for God's sake, stop growing grass. Grass is the dumbest plant I can imagine that we grow. It's so bloody weak, you gotta fertilize it and you gotta treat it with chemicals so that there are no pests, and you gotta water it. I want a robust plant that you plant, and by God, doesn't matter how little water is, it's gonna grow. So get rid of grass and let's start growing local plants and really having our cities bloom again with local creatures that don't take a huge amount of water.
I'm Vinny the gardener, and I'm a Xeriscape garden consultant. The difference between traditional gardening and Xeriscape gardening is that Xeriscape gardening is more of a water-wise, native gardening practice. Here in the Southwest, it rains maybe twice a year. We have to be really conscious about what our water usage is, and that's where we pick the right plants that can survive on just getting water once a week. Not only is the bloom color aesthetically pleasing for us, this draws in a lot of our wildlife, which really makes it a wonderful naturescape for you in your garden. We're here at my home, and this is my Xeriscape garden. This is my workshop. It's a showcase to demonstrate that this is Phoenix, Arizona, and this is what's possible. This is one of my favorite examples of Xeriscape. I'm also look at this and say, this can't be Xeriscape. There's no gravel, there's no cactus. Xeriscape is not necessarily a design style. It's about water management and environmental management. When I meet with the client, what I do is I help them design their garden. Hey there.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's it going?
Great to see you. Day one, and we're gonna get started on really making this project look great.
Great. I'm tired of mowing the grass, and I think it's ridiculous to be watering it here in Arizona, because I have neighbors that are watering their grass, 3 times a day, every single day. We're in a drought in Arizona. Wake up.
So they're first just gonna come in with their dozer, clear out all the dirt, clear out all the grass, and then after that, that's where you come in, and we're gonna start putting in all of our plants and build a nice elevation here. We're gonna preserve our bougainvillea off the driveway.
I'm
and start getting lots of pretty color in the garden.
For this.
Transforming your garden into a Xeriscape garden is quite simple. One of the easiest ways is starting off with a drip system. A drip system is actually a regulated system of watering, which you can use instead of having to run sprinklers or hand watering constantly. So we're just gonna take our barb, connect it to our drip line, our hose. We're just gonna connect our drip barb into it, and we're done.
Well, that's too easy.
And what we're using as our landscape mulch is actually decomposed granite. It's a recycled material, if you will. As a gravel, it actually packs solid so we can walk on it, but it's a soft, loose material, so when it rains, the water still permeates through it, and it also helps to keep the moisture in the soil. So we're here at our local nursery. We know they grow good stuff here.
Yep.
Basically, I call it Arizona tested. So here in Phoenix, we have a number of great plants out here. Penstemons are great, salvias, Duranta skyflower, all the agaves are great. Fence post cactus, your Oregon pipe cactus. My #1 plant for our plan is called the butterfly bush. You smell that scent.
Smells like honey.
Like raw honey. Isn't that the best? And then for our big, bold yellow.
Oh, I love
This is our Tacoma, so we've
This
got
is
one
great.
that's got a really good vertical form, so eventually we want to make this grow into a tree. And this is the Aleogeny, or the Purple Hibiscus. This is going to attract a lot of our bees. Hummingbirds will come to this one as well. And we want something with big flowers like this, because that's just a big old red sign in your garden going, hey, nature, come get us. One of One of the greatest things I enjoy about doing this is when I can see someone really changing their concept of how a garden should work. Taking a client that's been planting a row of geraniums for year after year after year, and we change it to do something a little bit more wild and native and letting loose. Hopefully our bees will be there waiting for us, I'm hoping.
I think first we have to look around where we live. If we live in places where there is very little water, we shouldn't try to make environments that need lots of water.
In California, the largest single use of electricity in the state is to import water to Los Angeles. We bring in all this water, in large part to water our lawns.
By planting a more sustainable landscape, you're also making a much better habitat. You're maintaining opportunities for local flora and fauna to propagate and to be sustained over time. We're sort of perpetuating the natural palette of our landscape, which is a great thing, and we're also creating something that's going to live a lot longer and be a lot healthier.
We're just about there, so it's just getting the rest of the gravel set in place. So this just cleans off the plants. We don't need to do this often because they're desert plants, so they don't really like to get a lot of watering, but just this once is enough. In general, people think of their garden or their landscape almost like they think of their living room. You put furniture in place, and it stays there, and it'll never change. Garden's a little different because this is a living environment. Everything's alive. So you don't just plant things and walk away. You have to engage it because it's yours and it's your own living environment. And then once everything's watered down, I'm also gonna have you just set the hose in on the trees. We're gonna let those soak for about a day. So we want it on a slow drip. And after that one deep watering is about all they'll need, then they can sustain themselves on our drip system. I think you'll really enjoy once the wildflowers come up.
Yep.
Our gravel is our wonderful mulch that's going to keep a lot of the moisture in the soil. A lot of our other plants are strictly xeric plants, native plants, so they're going to thrive on our very low water irrigation system. And after a while, we'll actually be reducing our water level as the plants mature.
It looks fantastic. I love it.
When the seeds really come in the spring, that's going to just blow your mind.